Hello and welcome into this week's RNN Diecast review right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. On today's Diecast review, I can't believe I stumped you guys on this one. Nobody was able to figure out what this one is. We teased it a little bit last week that we were jumping slightly out of chronological order. It was still going to be a 2019 race to win, but it wasn't going to be one that was continuing in chronological order. We're going to go back into more of a chronological order next week, but I figured since we had skipped over this one earlier when it did come out, I figured we needed to do this one, and it fit perfectly this week, given that the Clash is this weekend, now back to being called the Busch Clash. Of course, running Sunday this weekend, the day after the ARCA race this weekend, and the same day as Daytona 500 qualifying. Yes, you see the title. You know what it is. It's Jimmie Johnson's 2019 Clash winner. So, of course, take a look at the box here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just your typical Elite box, Elite window box. Still the same as always. And then they made 297 of these Jimmie Johnson 2019 Clash winners in Elite. Not a lot comes in the box. They don't send a winner sticker with this one because it's not, I guess because it's not a points race. I guess because of that there's no winner sticker. But of course the generic Elite COA and a race detail card. And the interesting thing I see here, and maybe somebody can jog my memory on this, did they not do a victory lane at all with this? Why is this just a random picture of Jimmie walking around? Because this clearly is not from victory lane, so I'm curious why they didn't use a victory lane picture for this. But anyway, Jimmie Johnson, Advanced Auto Parts Clash champion, February 10th, 2019, second career Clash win. On the back, Johnson starts 2019 with the Clash win. You can pause to read that if you want to. Now, the biggest reason that we're doing this at all is there's a very good possibility this could be the last Jimmie Johnson raced win version made. Maybe not the last raced version, because we don't know what he's going to do, I guess, for Phoenix this year, if he's going to do any kind of a special scheme, if they're going to do a raced version for that race, even if he doesn't win like they have for some drivers in the past. So may not necessarily be the last raced version, but it could be the last raced win version, even if it's not technically a points race. So I figured this was one that probably needed to get done on a review here. And quite possibly could be the only Ally raced win version as well. So take a look. Try to look under the hood here. Of course, these Camaro hoods are barely open. You got Chevy, Wix, and Ally under the hood there. And we'll take a look at the engine detail, if we can get any kind of light down in there. Just with that barely opening there, it's very hard to get any kind of light down in there. Then the hood doesn't want to quite go all the way shut here, but mostly shut. Just a little bit of a gap there. On the nose here, pretty clean down the nose. A little bit of tape there on the grill, not much. Number 48, ZL1, Chevy, Hendrick Motorsports, and what? I don't know what that little logo there is below Hendrick Motorsports. Maybe somebody else knows what that is. I can't really tell what that is. Ally, of course, on the hood here. Should be Monster Energy across there, but of course, because it's a Hendrick car, that is not there. And Chevy also on the windshield banner. Number 48 on the roof. Roof flaps do function. Ally on the back of the roof. DIN number 247. Johnson on the rear window. Ally on the deck lid. Oh, the deck lid actually opens a lot. Are the deck lids supposed to open that much anymore? I don't remember having deck lids that open that much. I appreciate having a deck lid that opens that much, but I don't think it's supposed to open that much. Interesting. Well, we definitely can get some light down in there this time. I had not noticed. This is the first time I've opened the deck lid on this car. I didn't realize it opened that much. Interesting. All right, down the driver's side. Clean down the driver's side. Couple of contingency sponsors here, not too much. A few markings on the left front tire. Number 48, NASCAR race car. Glenwood and JD Gibbs stickers on the A post. Jimmie Johnson on the name rail. Sponsors down the B post. Valvoline on the C post. Ally Do It Right and the American Ethanol ring back here on the quarter panel. On the back bumper, Ally Do It Right, Chevy Camaro ZL1, Valvoline, and number 48. The cool thing about this scheme is it's mostly a matte finish, but there are parts of it that feel more like a standard glossy finish. It's really weird how they've done this, but I actually kind of like it. And then down the passenger side, this is where the damage is. A little bit of scrapes down here through the number 48, and then, of course, the markings here on the right front where he got into Paul Menard there on the last lap caused that big one, and really essentially is the reason that Jimmie won this race. But definitely does add some character to the car. Don't get me wrong here. This does look fantastic. You don't usually get damage on a Daytona raced version at all. Sometimes you do, but it's very hard, especially on a Cup raced version from Daytona. You don't usually get any kind of markings except for maybe a little bit of rubber buildup, so it's cool to have some kind of markings on here at all. And these definitely tell the story of what happened in this race, because you can definitely tell he really got into Paul Menard here on the right front, and then the scrapes down here down the right side. So you can definitely, the story of this race is definitely told in the damage on the passenger side here, and definitely makes this a very very good raced version, because that's the thing. Some raced versions, it's hard to tell they're even a raced version. So it's good that you at least get some sort of damage on here, and it's damage enough that it tells the story of what happened here with the damage on the right front. You can say, oh, that's where he got into Paul Menard and ended up winning the race. So very cool raced version here. If you haven't picked one up already, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, might possibly be the last race win version for Jimmie Johnson. Of course, we don't know what he's going to do this year in 2020 in his final season. He may go out and win 6 races this year. I don't know. Probably not, but he has done it before at different points in his career, so I wouldn't rule it out. Probably unlikely at this point, especially now that we're later in his career and he doesn't have Chad Knaus anymore. We don't know what kind of chemistry he's going to have with Cliff Daniels. Saw it building a little bit near the end of last season, so it's definitely possible he could rattle off a couple of wins this year. So we'll see. I would definitely like it to see Johnson go out with a couple more victories. It remains to be seen if that's going to happen, though. This quite possibly, again, may be the last race win version for Jimmie Johnson. So definitely recommend picking this one up. It is a cool raced version that I think would look good in a lot of people's collections if you can pick one up. Next week on Diecast Review, like I said, we're going back to the chronological order, more or less, and it is going to be a truck next week. So take your guesses on what that is going to be. Probably fairly obvious if you know what the last truck we did was, maybe what the next chronological truck in order will be. That might have spoiled it a little too much. Probably doesn't take too much thought to figure out what that will be, but I'm looking forward to this one. Maybe, I feel weird saying this, but it might be my favorite truck of 2019, oddly enough. So leave your guesses down below what that might be next week. Of course, we will have our coverage this weekend from Daytona and New Smyrna for ARCA and ARCA East. Looking forward to that. It will be a fun weekend down there in Florida. Looking forward to getting away from this cold here in Indiana, getting down into that warm Florida weather. So if you haven't done it already, you need to go down below, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. While you're at it, why don't you hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do. But at that, this has been the RNN Diecast Review. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.